Welcome everybody, it is Bazzy from Reddit Heroes, and I have a kind of special war for you this particular week. It has not been since the GroupMe era that the RCS, the Reddit clan system, has banded together and fought as one in a potluck. And we have finally managed to do it. Reddit Heroes is going to be hosting, and let's take a look and see how it went. Oh goodness. Well, I guess we expected that when Reddit Heroes was going to host it. But let's see how we did. Honestly, it was a pretty good war. I was really happy. I thought that we did pretty well. In particular, oh my goodness, our Town Hall 9s were on fire. We managed to get 13 Town Hall 9 scouts, but at the end of the day, it's what happens at the Town Hall 10 and the Town Hall 11 level that's going to win the wars. And we managed to screw up by not getting the 2-star from our 10s on their number 2, and it turned out that even one of our 11s had to try it, and he did a 3-star attempt and wasn't able to get that, so that was a big problem for us, and then we just missed out on a couple of 11v10 dips. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty good war. By the way, I'm not going to burn this base number 2, but I thought it was really interesting. This base that we really struggled on was one where it had a slightly offset town hall, and what it meant was that on the one side, the close side of the town hall, you had it really difficult to get percentage, but you were able to get the town hall, and that on the far side of the town hall, there was tons of buildings everywhere. You get all the percentage you want, but it was hard to get all the way through to the town hall. So I thought that sort of asymmetric Town Hall 11 design where it was sparse, but close on the one side, and dense, but far on the other, was really clever. Now, I think we better show Spirit. He was definitely, I think, the MVP for the war. He manages to get 2 different 2-stars as a Town Hall 10, and they're both very different, and you know what? I'm going to show them both. So, what Spirit's going to be doing in this particular attack is noting that there's these 4 different air defenses which are on the far hand side, and so what he wants to try to do is do a dragon attack where we're going to be avoiding these. But the problem is, if you're going to come in this direction with your dragons, you have this sweeper right here, which is just going to keep on pushing things back right as you're getting into the Infernos and the Queen and all CC and all that good stuff. So what he's going to do here is he's going to go in Lightning, and that's going to take away the air sweeper. He's going to use his heroes here. He's going to funnel and get rid of a whole bunch of stuff, as well as a little bit of funneling over there. And that's going to leave this sort of on-ramp where the dragons are going to go down the middle. They're going to take out the town hall. They're going to get something over 50%, and we're going to call it a 2-star. So let's see how he actually goes and does this. So first of all, he's going to begin at the bottom here. He's just going to have a little bit of dragoning, a little bit of wizards, a little bit of minions, just to try to pick up a little bit of that early percentage before the eagle is going to activate. Then I'm going to slow it down to say that up at the top right corner, now he's dropped a golem and some bowlers. He's going to hit the rage, and they're just going to go through that whole corner and just nice and clean it out a little bit. We've got the Zapquake coming down on the sweeper. It picks up the town hall as well and softens the town hall up a little bit. And then on the other side, we've got the heroes coming in. They're going to sort of come through and take out the other side. The eagle is now being activated and coming down on them. But that's okay. They're just going for funneling. Doesn't want anything else. And then, now that that's going away, in come the dragons. He's just going to lump them all up. And they've got this sort of nice corridor, particularly on that top right. They're just going to really funnel down a lot and go in towards the town hall. You know what? I'm even going to hit the 2 times because it gets a little boring. Just about hitting some rages here at the right times. Going to have a poison that comes down on the queen. Going to have, just the poison for the queen. And look at how many raged up dragons are right in the middle core. It just goes down like butter, that town hall. And he's just going to run it out to see what extra little bits of percentage he's going to get as he starts running his dragons into the air defenses, which were never planned to go down, and so that's perfectly fine. By the way, also a good feature here is that we had the lure ahead of time. We had this hound in the CC. It was kind of irrelevant, and it turns out that the hound is just going to not do a factor in the raid at all. Now this attack is going to be completely different. We're going in with a bunch of golems and bowlers, and it's sort of this anti-2-star Town Hall 11 base. And let's see what he does. So again, we have a little bit of funneling down here at the bottom, getting just some free hit points. That's going to be wonderful. Do we have anything going on at the top? Looks like nothing going in at the top. And then off on the right-hand side, I really like this. He's going to just take the haste and just whip a few balloons into the center. Also is going to be able to get stuff, but mainly the point is to be able to get a funnel here. So he's taken out a couple defenses. I think there was maybe 3 of the loons in there. And I like this sort of approach of just taking out the corner. Now, the main portion of the kill squad is coming in here at the top. We're going to be dropping the bowlers and the right underneath the rage here. Then we get the double jump that's going to take everything in. Look how good this funnel is. Everything is sort of compactifying, so it's going to take a little bit of damage from the eagle, but that's all right. The eagle's on the close side. It's going to go down pretty quickly here, and we're just going to be firing stuff through here. I like the backside freeze, by the way. The backside freeze here is on the CC troops. That leaves enough time for stuff to come through and be taking out those hits on the town hall. I thought that was really nicely done. And then on the far left, we've got the baby dragons. They're coming in just trying to get a few more percentage points as well, and he's going to run this one up into the 60s. So a wonderful job to Spirit. Now, Reddit Heroes does not want to be outdone by all of these interlopers coming into our clan. So SWEG is up, he's one of our 40-40s, he's one of our best attackers, and he wants to prove how it is done as well. And SWEG's observation is that there's this really dense corner that we have on the top right, where we've got a Inferno, we've got an air defense, we've got the Queen, and we've got the CC. And what we could do here is a kill squad with those beefy 40-40 heroes that are going to come in, they're going to take out these components, and that's going to leave behind a really nice path for the Laloon portion. You'll notice that over here we've got the sweeper pointing away, and so everything is going to be really nice, and I like the plan. So let's see how he's going to execute it. So, first up, drops down the golem and puts a couple wizards behind them. He decides just to hang out here for a little while because that's what the cool people do. Anyways, now we've got it coming in, and we're going to trickle in the bowlers, the king, and the queen. He's perfectly placed these so that absolutely nothing is going to be walking. As we can see, the king manages to get the boost off, and the queen is on the wrong side of the wall. Then his queen is walking, and then the CC is not killed, and then he got nothing. So good job to Reddit Heroes. We decided to represent really well in this particular war. I wanted to show Mr. T, he got a 6-pack at 11 V10 dips. And I thought this was a pretty cool attack that has a lot of good components of it, particularly because he manages to get this, but he doesn't kill the baby dragon in the CC. So the first point is, his funnel is pretty darn good here. He's got the wall breakers in, everything's gone, there's nothing sort of going off to the left. But his queen does decide to walk. So while he's coming in here and he's going to do a good job, notice that he's going to pick off the air defense, which is going to be hanging out down here in a moment. He does a good job of getting a lot of stuff here, but the problem is that his queen walks and then the baby dragon's going to kick out stuff, and ultimately he's got a lot of the base left and the baby dragon up. So that portion has not done great, but watch the next portion. This is the portion that I get a little bit more excited about. He very, very, very quickly, looks like a 2-finger drop here, puts down the Laloon portion. Then the golems come in just very slightly behind it. I guess it's to give them a little bit of a time delay because they're going to run across the entirety of the base. And I'm going to pause here because it's actually going down really, really quickly. The hastes are put down, he's got the Grand Warden, and he's frozen the first in tower. And just, I love the one direction, everything just going straight through the entire map. Everything sort of stays nicely clumped together, and it hits the spells well. The rage is going to come on the top side, and you can see that now as the hounds have sort of like raced ahead, they were a little bit behind before, that now they've picked up all of the tanking. He's going to pop the Grand Warden ability a few seconds ago, which healed everything at a really, really good time. And yeah, there's that far air defense out the back there, but look how many loons he has going to that. The only real problem is the Inferno Tower right now. But he's got a few loons on that. They are taken down, almost loses the raid at that point just because of the baby dragon. But now he had just a massive ton of loons up. And I just thought it was kind of a cool attack. I've always since very, very early on in Clash liked attacks where things just go in straight lines. I don't know, maybe I'm a really civil person. So you get all your loons flying in a straight line. That's the kind of recap that's kind of attack that's going to make it in a recap, at least for me. Now, Next up, I want to show some of our Town Hall 9 action because honestly, that was where we were best in this particular war. So let us go and take a look at... Who are we watching? I don't want to show B one of these. He's from our clan. Okay, fine. We're tempted. I'll show one from our clan. People to Pieces is coming in here and he's doing a shattered go-ho here. It's interesting, he decides to come in at these corners. I've always found corners a little bit challenging for myself personally, but he does a pretty good job of at least getting the heroes and most of the portion walking. His funnel was pretty good. A few bowlers are going to go off to the side here, but for the most part, he's going to get everything like nicely collapsed in at the corner. They're going to come through, they're going to hit a rage in a moment, that's going to send everything through. Going to get to that centralized queen that we have up in the middle. It's really important that he manages to knock that out. She's a ways in, so it's kind of good that I like that portion of the attack. And his golems are going to be out front, and his queen doesn't have ability, and now we're in with the hogs all the way on the top side. You'll notice that he's taken out, I think, one giant bomb as well. He's going to pop one, I think, just as a moment the golems are going to get it there. But he knows at the top there's no giant bomb, so it's just a mass cluster in at the top. He's going to drop a couple heals. In a moment, they're going to come down. Looks like, there we go, right over the Tesla farm. So a ton of the hogs are going to be running through that. He's got this sort of secondary group on the right-hand side that was a little bit too sparse, I think. And he's going to have to sort of use the queen ability to take those out. But that's okay, it happens to work out. And he's not, that separation of the hogs a little bit wasn't ideal. But for the most part, he's got a ton of hogs up. And now they run over that centralized giant bomb, which, by the way, could easily have gone off with his kill squad as well if it had just walked a little bit differently. So he was going to get the 3 giant bombs with the kill squad, which was pretty good. And I just thought that was a kind of fun attack, so good job to People to Pieces. Next up we have Luffy. He's taking out number 16. He's doing the HGHB, kind of fallen out of fashion, at least in Reddit Heroes. I don't know whether that's true larger, but it's always been a really powerful attack, and he pulls it off wonderful here, so maybe we should be using it a little bit more than we have been. He notices that he can drop the baby dragon first and just pick off a little bit of funneling. And because he's got the heroes right on the outside edge, he basically just drops the giants into the heroes, and then the heroes are being healed by the healers, which are quite safe from any air defense, and it sort of distracts the CC, and so he's able to, and the heroes, and they just sort of pick this target up on the giant. So I think it works out really nicely here. Got a couple of wizards taking out the town hall to make sure things don't walk. Finally, the CC hound pops, and he's got a nice good funnel, and so it looks like absolutely everything is going to be going into the center of the base, which of course is exactly what you want. He's going to hit that rage in a moment, and that's going to mean those giants are just going to pound through the wall. Absolutely no jump needed for this. Quickly got the air defense, which is important. When you get the air defense quickly, it means that you've got these 3, looks like all 4 raged healers survived. That was important. And now he's going into this middle portion where there's like the whiz towers, but whiz towers don't do anything to giants when you've got a couple healers on them. And so he hits the second rage, they beat through the wall, and he's able to get the second air defense and again heal everything back up, because as the path goes through, the healers are going to hit the rage again. So he's really cleared this portion of the base, and then everything is tanking in the middle. So let's see what he does next. Actually, at this point, some stuff starts beating out of the wall. It looks like the queen has gone for a bit of a walk and escaped. The king's trying to beat out of the wall. So that side's going down a little slowly. But then in come from the hogs. He's doing it all on the right-hand side here. He doesn't have a lot, of course. It's HGHB. But he's going to heal them quick, and he's going to heal them early, which means that as everything else in the raid, which is still powerful, most of these giants are up. We still got the healers. We still got the king. We got the king ability up. All this stuff is in the center here. Final heal comes down on the bombs, and the giant bomb tower. Could have been a lot of problems here, but everything like the wizard's towers are targeting the giants, and look how many of them are still up there. He's got both of his abilities. It's just too good of an attack. So let's hit the 4 times on this one, and good job to Luffy. Next up, we're going to have Dupe, who's going to get 100% on this kind of funky base, and I like the way he did it. What he's going to do, I'm going to pre-draw just a little bit, he's going to send in a queen walk here. And the queen walk is going to get a lot of value. It's going to pick off the queen who's hanging out here. It's going to pick off the air defense that's hanging out here. And of course, it's going to pick off the CC. But he does further. He's going to take a jump, and he's going to get it in and get the second air defense. And then he's going to send some king and some bowlers over onto this side to just clean off a little bit more. And then we're going to have the La Lune portion coming in on the backside for the 2 remaining air defenses. So it's a kind of a cool attack. Let's see how he does it. As I mentioned, we've got the Queen Walk that's going to run down. He's got the 2 wizards rather, it looks like, hanging out, just establishing the funnel. And he's doing pretty good. He's got this level 30 queen. It's able to survive these defenses, which at this point are either 1 or 2 at a time. He's going to have the 1 rage when it's going to step in here, I think, to take out the queen. Yes, he's pre-raged it. That's going to be nice to take out the queen portion. And then he's going to carry on with his queen walk. All right. Takes out the first air defense. Unfortunately, there's a red and black Seeking Air Mine who's going to take out one of the healers, but that's all right. I like this. He's got to jump to take it on the inside. Now, he has to take out the CC first. He's already got it raged, but he's going to hit the ability anyway just to make sure she survives. And I like the planning here that he wants to go in and get that other air defense, right? That's sort of our goal. And it's really nice. There's definitely was a possibility that she could have walked out, but he did his counting really cleanly, and she stayed on the inside, and I thought that was nice. Then on the right-hand side, we had the king and some golems just sort of getting a little bit of stuff on the right-hand side, just sort of compactify the base. There's just less stuff. You can see a baby dragon is going to take out a wizard tower, which can always be a late thing. She's just really nice using this baby dragon. The baby dragon gets a ton of work. Drops a couple different loons off in this dead area that's going to sneak through, but now most of the Lalo portion is coming in here. It's pretty quick. He's going to try and haste them up, I think, in a moment here. No, actually, doesn't even need to haste anything. He's just going to let them naturally turn into the very, very end. He's going to have a little bit of a backtrack there on the mortar. The Buller Walk, which turned into a Buller Walk when the queen died, came around really quickly. Saves a few loons and a last hound for the other side, so that really exposed, easy to get air defense. He's able to get that really quickly. And while we've got a backside Tesla farm, it doesn't really matter. We've got a hound in there that just explodes. A ton of loons, a Buller Walk, a baby dragon, just got all kinds of stuff. So I thought it was a really cool attack by Dupe. I always like funky bases that use funky attack styles to get them. If you're going to do that, you're going to probably make it into one of my recaps. Next up, we're going to have Bison. He's going to be coming in and doing a Go Bo La Loon. And I like what he did. If you noticed, he began his golem quite up high and quite down low. That enabled him to get those wizards, and they were protected a little bit longer and were able to pick up the funnel. They got the targeting of those corner defenses. The wizards are going to kind of go and die off to this king, but that's all right. Oh, are they going to get him? Maybe they're going to take at least a bunch of damage. Anyways, he uses the baby dragon to funnel, and now both of the golems have come in. They've targeted the inside. Interesting choice, by the way, here. He uses the jump. It doesn't go all the way through. I actually wasn't sure whether that was intentional or not, but you'll see how it works out. It's quite nice. He's got the really good funnel at this point. Uses a bunch of stuff to get it. The bowlers are going to go off. They kind of walk, but they can only walk to the 1 defense. So then they're going to turn around, except for maybe 1 or 2 of them. Everything in the center here. He's got his abilities. He's going to pop those in a minute. And, oh yeah, the bowlers go off and kind of distract the queen. It's got a bit of weird timing, but notice that jump placement. Now, everything goes off. It's shifted to the right. It's going to go into the queen chamber and not sort of mess around in the center here. So he's got everything he wants, and most importantly, he picks off the second air defense, hits that ability here, and now we are in with the Laloon. Going to haste through on the first one so he can get into that first air defense as fast as possible. Kind of late on these corner ones, or maybe not actually. The Tesla farm pops there, so maybe actually was good time. Now I changed my mind. That was really good timing. He gets a heal and a haste right as the Tesla farm pops. Everything's going to be coming in here. And I like it that the Tesla farm, of course, is dangerous, but it's also that, while you're hanging out there, the Wiz Tower would blast you. So it's a really good spot for that heal. And everything's just sort of collapsing. He doesn't have any hounds left, but he's got a ton of loons. They take out the last air defense, and there's only cannons on the backside, so it is all over, but for the crying, so good job to Bison. Alright, next up we've got the good old Shattered Goho. Oh my goodness, I've always loved a good old Shattered Goho. Just makes my heart happy to see them every single time, even though they've been around for a billion years. And I think that Nicole has done a wonderful job of executing this particular attack. Alright, she's going to start at some point. I don't know. Let's hit the 2 times. There we go, off on the right-hand side, or left-hand side. So drops the long walk of the golems. The wizards are going to come in. They're going to get a good funnel. Same thing on the other side. Everything's going to be coming into this sort of centralized compartment, or at least that is going to be the hope. But I think what happens here is that it's actually a little far away. So the golem's beating against the wall, but I don't know if it's the worst thing in the world, because the Wizards are actually pretty capable of taking out a whole bunch of defenses off on the bottom here. So I thought that was really nice. We've got that deep jump, but now everything has come in. You'll notice that after those defenses were taken out by the Wizards, the second Golem did come in, so it actually worked out really, really beautifully here. We're going to hit some abilities here on the King. Everything's going to fly through, and we've got that long jump in to take out the Queen, which is the last thing that we really need to do. And my goodness, a large portion of this map is already going to be taken out. We've got the Tesla farm going down here. Notice that she uses the heal, so like, we've only got one heal for the hogs, but it, I think, was really well placed here. It kept a lot of stuff up in the center, and you notice that we still have all of those bowlers, and we're going into an important area. We've got the bomb tower and a Tesla and a wizard over there. We don't want our hogs in that region, so the heal was good there, and now she's sending in this so many spring traps, but nonetheless, a massive hogs come in, and even with the spring traps, there's still plenty of them, and she's got the heal, but does she need the heal? No, because she is Nicole and doesn't want to go that particular direction. So I thought this was a wonderful attack. As you can see, definitely an overkill. And the swag of 4 hogs in the bag. So definitely a wonderful attack by Nicole. Alright, and I'm going to leave it there, but I want to thank everybody from the RCS who came into Reddit Heroes and joined out. I know that we had a ton of fun. I know that we learned a lot. I definitely think that the RCS should be doing quite a lot more of these potlucks. I think it's a really good learning opportunity for just about everybody. And I guess the next war we're going to see is going to be the RCS Tournament, round number 3, which is coming up on Friday.